Hello, everybody. Welcome to Talk Time. Talk Time is a platform dedicated to amplifying the voices of directly impacted people and advocates against the criminal justice system. Our goal is to shed light on the injustices and systemic issues within the prison system and to discuss the reform needed to create change. On this show, we will be bringing you conversations with experts, advocates, and those directly impacted by the criminal justice system. We believe that everyone deserves a fair and just system, and we will be exploring various topics such as mass incarceration, police brutality, and the impact of prison on families and communities. Join us as we engage in thought provoking discussions and work towards creating a more equitable and just society. I am your host, Natasha White. Today, on episode 4 of Talk Time, we have a truly extraordinary guest joining us. Her name is Tamara Washington, and her story is one that demands our attention and compels us to seek justice. For over 11 agonizing years, Tamara has been confined within the walls of Women's Huron Valley Correctional Facility in the state of Michigan, serving a sentence for crimes she insists she did not commit. Her voice and her truth has been suppressed, but today we have the opportunity to shed light on her harrowing ordeal. Tamara stands as a symbol of resilience in the face of injustice, despite being sentenced to an astonishing 32 to 50 years for armed robbery and assault with intent to rob while armed. She maintains her innocence, steadfast in her belief that she was wrongfully convicted. What makes Tamara's case all the more confounding is the absence of any tangible evidence linking her to the alleged crimes. No DNA, no forensics, no fingerprints, nothing that definitively proves her guilt. Her legal battle has been marred by elements of corruption, casting a shadow of doubt on the narrative presented at her trial and raising serious concerns about repeated violations of due process. Compounding this already troubling situation, crucial pieces of evidence that could potentially exonerate Tamara have been inexplicably missing. Original arrest records, sting operation evidence, video surveillance vanished without a trace. Transcripts have been withheld, and her complete file remains incomplete, leaving her with an uphill battle to reclaim her freedom and to clear her name. Today, Tamara Washington will not only share her personal story, but also shine a light on the flaws and injustices that exist within our legal system. We have the privilege of hearing her side, witnessing her strength, and joining her in her quest for truth and justice. So, ladies and gentlemen, first let us welcome our co-host, Kyle Robinson, who, until Tamara calls in, will be speaking on her behalf and thereafter. As I have said, Tamara is currently incarcerated. Kyle, how are you doing today?
I am pissed off, and not just because of the unreasonable treatment of Tamara. I'm mad that you didn't tell me I needed some chapstick when I was getting ready. But
Oh
Tamara
my,
is.
it took forever to get on. Like,
Okay.
what do you want me to do?
Hey, we're doing the show. Come on, we're doing the show. So Tamara Washington, as you said, is going to be calling in, but as you know, being currently incarcerated, there's a few oddities that she has to sidestep, meaning she has to navigate the line. And it's just one of many things that she's had to navigate as an innocent prisoner for going into 12 years, actually going into 13 now. So I'm going to give you all a little warm-up or introduction of her story. When she comes on, then we'll let her get into the details. But as you brought out in that very encompassing introduction, Tamara was set up in a sting. What's a sting? It sounds generally like some legitimate, lawful operation to catch bad guys. Not the case. So Tamara's situation is that she was in a hotel, not a hotel, a casino. She gonna punch me in the mouth if she see that part,
I think you have some interference in your sound. I don't know if it's the fan or you need to speak up, please.
Okay, let me
Very
adjust
we want you to
this.
we definitely want you to provide us with an overview of Tamara Washington's case.
Give me
So
a sound check. Is this
there you go.
adequate?
Yeah,
Okay. So
there you go.
Tamara was incarcerated after she had been in a casino where she met a person who eventually became the alleged robbery suspect. I'm gonna give you the real breakdown. But the reason that it's relevant to tell you that it started in a casino is because we know everything in a casino is recorded. You can't
Right.
go to the bathroom. You can't play a slot. You can't pick up a. You can't do nothing in a casino without being recorded. Well, the first contact with this alleged victim of an armed robbery met Tamara at a casino initially. And Tamara was, and she's kept it real. She's been all the way 100 about it. She was hustling. She was dealing pills. She sold the lady some pills, or uh, basically fronted her some pills,
Hmm.
and around the amount of about 4 grand worth of pills. That person is related to a law enforcement officer who helped set up this thing.
Mm.
So about a week after this drop off, Tamara hits up, calls the lady to get her money, and the lady's doing some doing some odd stuff. Well, Tamara not not being all the way on it like she should have, and doing the wrong thing like she shouldn't have been,
Hmm.
goes and takes the lady out of town. They get pulled over. The lady is apprehended. The person who's with Tamara is apprehended. Tamara is not, which is,
Hmm.
obviously super red flag. So about a week after that, she goes to collect her money. And before she even gets there, when she's pulling out of the gas station across the street from where the lady is stationed to pay her, police swarm in, scoop her, and boom, now she's in jail. Now, this may sound like just run of the mill law enforcement. It
Yeah,
looks like I'm freezing up. Let me know if I'm freezing up. This might
you
sound
are.
like just okay. Should I give it a second?
No,
Let's
no,
see
no.
what
Come on, come with it. Come with
okay.
it. Come with it.
So
Like, come
so
with the
this
story.
was not no okay. So this was not run of the mill police operation stuff, and we know that because once the mayor went to court, they dropped the charges eventually. Before they did so, they found out that the alleged principal, the person who was actually supposed to be the robber, who Tamara was supposed to be driving, he was in jail. He was in jail at the time of the offense. So,
Okay.
so obviously he ain't got nothing to do with it, which means the whole prosecution's theory was some BS. The whole thing they put together was some BS. Well, when they closed her case in that courtroom, they reopened it 20 minutes later in another courtroom, denying her access to files, testimony, everything relevant to the previous case, which should not be able to disappear at all. But
Right.
here, 12 years later, Tamara Washington can get no assistance in one specific aspect, and she's challenging everybody who's listening to try to help with this, or to verify it, see if she's telling the truth. Her files have not been produced. Even Kim Worthy, the head of the conviction integrity unit of that county, publicly said that while on the phone with another exoneree, Larry Smith, yeah, Larry Smith in Michigan, while on the phone with him, she publicly said that she would get uh, Tamara's files. Still hasn't happened. It's been over a year, still hasn't happened. And the way that it's looking is we're just going to keep waiting and waiting and waiting until Tamara has served 50 years. 50 years.
Wow. Okay.
Now,
So can well, you got to give me
should I cut my camera off? If it's I don't want to be on the
uh
screen looking.
yeah, you're frozen.
Okay,
Maybe
yeah.
you should. I can cut. Okay. All right, so you should. Okay, so everyone, we are having technical difficulties with Kyle's streaming. So you will hear his voice only. However, know that he is here and he is speaking in regards to Tamara Washington because she is incarcerated, and until she calls, we will not be able to hear her. So I am going to jump into the line of questions because I am dying to know how this miscarriage of justice happened so effortlessly. Kyle, can you provide us with an overview of Tamara Washington's case and the charges brought against her? Or as a matter of fact, what were the
Yo, can
key
you hear me?
pieces? Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay, what were the key pieces of evidence presented during Tamara Washington's trial? I cannot hear you. This is bad.
Let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Let me
Did
know
you hear?
if you can. Yeah, let me turn my camera on. Tell me if you can see me moving in real time, and
I cannot.
let me know if
You are not. Okay, now I can see you.
un,
Nope, you left
take
again.
take. You have to take me off cam. You have to
You're
put me off cam.
off. You come back in. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Tell me
Yeah,
when I'm. Okay.
you're frozen right now. You're frozen now. You're frozen. I cannot hear you. You are frozen.
Okay. I'm gonna leave the studio and come back in and see if that does it. One moment. You know what? I'm gonna join. I can join you on the phone, right quick. Is that cool?
Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, we were having some problems with Kyle's internet. I truly apologize. But we're going to continue on with the show. And it seems like he's there. Kyle?
Hey, can you hear me and see me? Am I
Yes, you're good.
functioning?
You're good.
Okay.
Come on. Listen, let's get to it. What
Okay.
were the
So,
key pieces?
so the key pieces of this story are that.
The key pieces of
What?
evidence is what I'm
Oh,
asking. Presented during.
none. Oh, there were none. The only evidence was the witness testimony. There were two alleged victims, and they had incongruent stories. Somehow, that was enough to find Tamara guilty. It is. It makes no sense. There is so much, disproportionately more evidence that she's innocent, but it hasn't come to fruition. The judge ordered it. He asked for the casino cameras, the tapes. Never happened. It never showed up. These are the types of failures in accountability that have left a lot of people in Michigan stranded, waiting for their files, what we call lost in the system.
Right.
And it happens more than people know. It, Tamara is someone who I've known I've investigated over the last year and found everything that she said to be true. First couple times that we talked, something wasn't right. It didn't sit with me because there was so much bullshit about the story. I'm like,
Right.
well, the system can't get all of this wrong. The person is probably not telling me everything that they should be telling me. Well, I know now what a few others know now, probably what the Conviction Integrity Unit knows, which is that those files, which would clear her name, the requested files would provide further evidence clearing her of the prosecution's theory of how they met and interacted. Everything that she needs to get free is hidden away or lost. Now imagine this. I want you to put yourself, do this mental exercise. You are in prison. Day one, you know you're innocent. Eventually you're going to get out, right? The system's
Right.
going to do its thing. You can trust that, right?
Yeah.
Wrong. What she found out was that clock will tick and tick. And there are people sitting up in the courts and on committees who have a responsibility to provide, a legal responsibility to provide the files necessary to her. So You're sitting in jail, and there's some paperwork out here that will prove you're innocent,
Right.
and you just can't get it. You can call somebody and ask them to get it. That they can't get in. They ain't got the key. You can call the judge and they got they nobody. How do you make a court case disappear when one of the defendants has the case dismissed? It makes no sense.
All
And
right. So what actions have been taken by the prosecution and defense attorneys in response to the failure to present um exculpatory evidence, basically?
so, up until about a year ago, effectively none. And that's the greatest tragedy of this is how much time she spent wasting expecting lawyers to do what they were supposed to do. Because her being part of the LGBTQ community seemed to upset an attorney who had displayed an interest in her, and that was really the end of people trying
All right.
to
So
help
I
her.
don't understand. The LGBTQ community fights for its own. Has she reached out to them?
She's reached out to two organizations. I think it's maybe Black and Pink, but she hasn't gotten in Michigan or in proximity to her one person yet who will follow through on an investigation of just making phone calls and holding people accountable. That's literally you can spend 12 years if you don't go into prison with a team. You go into prison, you by yourself, and
Yeah. I
oftentimes
know.
women more than men.
Oh,
We
I
can call
know.
somebody. They have nobody.
So let
So
me. Oh,
she's she's recently put out a challenge asking what the same thing you are is will you all, everyone who engages her page, her social media, hears her story, would you put her story to the test? Would you FOIA her files and see what happens?
what's the status of her current legal appeals or efforts for exoneration?
Efforts for appeals have been exhausted. The and the yes, the tragedy of it because and this happens to so many people. You go to court or you go to prison and you don't know the system. It ain't made for
Right.
you to know. You're depending on somebody who is working on your behalf, but who has a long-term working relationship in proximity with the judges, the prosecutor. They are
Yeah.
incentivized to help you hang yourself. So through appeal after appeal that happened. Now her options would be a 6,500, which is when that's an appeal that you can file if you have and only if you have new evidence to present. We can't get any evidence, and there is it. There again, there is new evidence to present if we could get it. If we could just get the casino footage, it would absolutely disprove the prosecution's theory. But there's no more evidence that you need than the principal, the co-defendant, being dismissed because he
Right.
wasn't
Because he was in
free.
prison. Right. He was already locked up.
Man, I'm about to hit something. I'm sorry. It
Don't
it
do
it,
that because we wasted
it
enough
just
time trying to get your audio together.
all right.
Let's move on. Let's move on a little bit. What
Okay. Do you want to
support?
talk about what she's?
I would like to ask you a question if you be quiet.
I'm
uh,
sorry.
what support or advocacy has Tamara received from legal organizations or the Innocence Projects? What happened to the Innocence Project? This is their stuff.
What she has encountered in each situation is initially a promise of support,
Uh,
some
and
type of update about it, and then the trail goes cold. She doesn't hear from the people at all. Her strongest advocate is Larry Smith Jr., an exoneree in the same state, who speaks on her behalf. I have not heard anyone in an organization with all the exonerees who are out there in her state right now. I've
right.
heard no one pick up the challenge of speaking on her behalf. And let me say this, please, Natasha. When I
Yeah.
say innocent, You probably heard me use the term wrongful conviction a lot.
Right, right.
Wrongful conviction happens a lot. That is a umbrella of a lot of types of convictions. Actual innocence
It's a different
is,
thing. It's a different thing.
yes,
Like
very few people.
a wrongful conviction can be you're being convicted on the wrong charge. Not that you didn't do anything, but you didn't do that. Or it's like the difference between manslaughter and murder one.
Bang.
You know what I'm saying? But innocence means you didn't do any of the above in any form or fashion. Do you think that her prior criminal record influenced the court's decision?
Oh,
So you to
absolutely.
consider I can never say the word when I'm thinking of it. Uh,
Right.
exculpatory evidence.
So the judge actually said these words: Miss Washington, you think you a gangster, don't you? You really think you a gangster? We're gonna show you how gangster you are. The judge, had got that level of personally um, disentangled with itself, became unglued, if you will, to take it personally that she had this extensive record. I wouldn't say it's extensive. She had 3 previous charges. She's not a saint. That's never been her claim. The point of her story, the message, is that you don't have to be innocent to deserve justice.
Right.
And
Absolutely.
what
Everybody deserves justice. That's a human right. One of the many things
she
that this country lacks tremendously in all aspects. Let's not even touch the surface of things that are not even criminal involved. So did you expect something different? I want to know because
you
I
know
know you. I want to know. I want full disclosure today, ladies and
real
gentlemen.
talk.
Let you know that Kyle is a personal friend of mine. He's the co-host, and he is my emergency, immediate go-to for everything. This man is the weirdest, nerdiest, lovablest person I know. I don't care if it's 2 in the morning and I need a paper written. I'm calling Kyle. You know why? Because I know he's up 24 hours a day fighting crime. He should have a cape. They should have named him Batman. As far as finding out information, doing homework, building websites, like he does it all. What are you going to do to help her? Because I know you're going to do something. What
Yes,
is it going to be?
yes. Well, I've already started, and and we talked about this yesterday, actually, after a very
Who, me and
personal.
you?
No, no, I'm sorry, my bad. Uh, she and I talked about this
I'm
yesterday,
like kind of
and
slow.
we had a very, very, very honest heart-to-heart talk, and we were both in tears. That's probably why I'm still crying today. I was crying. You saw me. I was crying for the show because every time that we engage, we have to go into it with the understanding she may never get out.
Right,
And as an advocate, as a friend,
right.
that means that might be a 40-year engagement. That might be a 20-year engagement. I want it to be a less than a 1-year engagement. But what I'm doing right now to speed things up is soliciting soliciting attorneys and paralegals who can do what you saw from that one letter that the attorney Cole White had written,
Mm-hmm.
which is to break it all down, make it simple, make it short, make it readable, help present her story because we know the justice system, we know the court is not going to take
Injustice.
action. They
Let's call
have
it.
no,
Let's call
yeah,
it what
the
it is.
injustice system.
Right.
They have no incentive to let her free, regardless of whether they know she is or not. However, public opinion is a totally different thing. I can't change what the courts do, but I can make sure that everybody who knows me, everybody who spends 30 seconds of time with me, knows who Tamara Washington is. And it is that important. It's not it's not natural to want to center somebody else. We're humans, but this could be your mother, my mother, someone this is someone's daughter. This is not just a let me tell you something about Tamara, please, that makes her unique. That makes me want to fight for her different. And then I'm gonna tell you about how I'm using AI to kind of help with her campaign. So most people who are incarcerated
Right.
wrongly focus on themselves naturally. Duh, get me the heck out of here. I'm not
Right, right,
supposed to be here. In her time there, her growth has allowed her to see the conditions, the systemic conditions that so many of our sisters are living in. And
right.
she took it upon herself about a month and a half to 2 months ago to start a blog page called Miscarrying Justice League, WHP. She's
So I'm
expecting
gonna
this.
put that. I'm gonna put that.
Oh,
It's
please, yes.
miscarrying
Yeah, the miscarrying is one word, and if you'll capitalize the C in it, it'll probably help the viewers catch it. But yes,
Justice
so she,
Justice League.
yes, miscarrying. So it's three words.
Okay.
And I got to tell you, when she first told me about this, about the idea, I was not excited. I was like, "Oh man, I'm about to be on Facebook. I'm not big on Facebook. I don't know how to navigate the pages. I don't know how to check my stuff. But what I once I saw the traction, meaning the you got a JPEG. I'm sure you got a JPEG. You know, most people have one or two people in their JPEGs if they have a JPEG.
Right.
Almost overnight, it went from just Tamara and two or three other people to about 20 more. Next day, 20 more. Next day, 20 more. So within a month, we had about 200, over 200 women who are collaborating, participating in this blog. And what that does in this specific situation, because it's Michigan, where there's only one women's prison, that gives us an interactive report. It's almost better than camera footage because we
Right.
never get that anyway. But we get the perspective of so many women. Not everybody's lying about being abused. Not everybody is
Absolutely.
lying. So
Absolutely.
it gives us
You
the
know,
chance to vet.
I believe that, that this it's really
Please,
sad. It's really sad to say, but I believe we need investigators to investigate the investigators. Like, that's where our system is at the moment. We need investigators to investigate the investigator. Um, we need
we
we need
it's all yeah.
police to police the police, and we need judges to judge the judges. Like, or we are going to continue to have this Ferris wheel,
Extermination.
right?
It's
Ferris
extermination.
wheel of miscarrying justice. I mean, I really want to know. So I have a question going back into the case.
Anything.
Uh, how did the eyewitnesses' testimony contribute to the conviction of Tamira? Like,
That was it. That was all that they had. Literally
it's
all that they
somebody's
had.
word, somebody else's word. That's not
Conflicting
nothing new.
words. Yes. Please expand on that. That's not nothing new,
That
and
is
that is
nothing new.
enough
That's
to
how the
get
feds
someone.
operate. That's how the feds can have no physical evidence against you, but they can build a case and convict you on word of mouth.
Isn't it proven fact now that the number one cause of of wrongful conviction is
False
eyewitness
testimony.
testimony?
Right.
So why the hell don't we have a committee already just investigating every case where someone's got life in prison or some long indeterminate
I think I don't understand why that's a question for you. Because the system works the way it is supposed to work.
right.
Understand this, viewers, people of the community, Kyle, understand that this system does exactly what it is supposed to do. It incarcerates, it damages, it dismantles, it destroys the black and brown race. Period. There is no miscarry of the justice. It is not broken, the system. It works as it should, according to the 13th Amendment. So we got to stop thinking that if we fix one part of the judicial system, that things will be fair. No, it doesn't. It's unfair from birth.
It's
It's
unfair
in the
all over the
birth
place,
of it.
and you know what? They've got it. The game is so cold. It's set up to
Huh.
where it's so many jurisdictions. It's not like you can just go fix policing. It is hidden behind thousands, or at least hundreds, probably thousands of overlapping jurisdictions, but the behavior uniform.
Yeah.
That's why we say fuck the police, or that's why some people say fuck the police. You know,
No, we
from
all say
coast
it.
to coast. Okay, from coast to coast.
We all
And I'm
say it.
and I'm not trying to attack police,
We
but
weren't supposed. We weren't going to say it on talk time, but hey, look,
yeah, this is
this
so
is our
you
truth,
yeah.
right?
I'm following your lead, but what we're seeing here is that
We done traded spaces. Normally, you're the call. You done said fuck the police on national television. Okay, listen.
uh
Talk
look,
time,
it's
a place where the formerly incarcerated and directly impacted get to speak their truth, and that's our truth. Come on with it. Come on with it.
so to continue on with Tamara and how I'm trying to help her today. We have started integrating artificial intelligence. Now everybody's hearing about it, and everybody falls on one side of the aisle. It seems. Oh shoot, that's the devil. We're all gonna die within 4 days. That's one camp, and then you've got it's not a problem. Okay, as an advocate for the wrongfully and excessively convicted, I don't care about any of the sides. I want to know how can we use this tool to help people who are incarcerated? How can we empower people to better advocate for themselves? And what I've begun to do is using some of the main name language model artificial intelligences, such as GPT, for example. I have developed a series of questions that will allow, or prompts, I should say. They call it prompt engineering. To
Mm-hmm.
put it all into sentence, I'm using AI
Mm-hmm.
to generate the documents
Mm-hmm.
and presentations for Tamira and many other incarcerated people that
Mm-hmm.
they need to advocate for themselves and once they get out. For example, Tamira needs to write in the chain of command to the Attorney General, Dana Nessel,
Right,
for their
right, right.
state. So boom, I can go in there and I hope that you'll make me a space on here one time to do a little 5 minute just video segment of what we're doing. But
Kyle, you're the co-host. Next week you can run your own segment.
okay, we saw how you was talking to me before the camera came on. This is your show, but thank you, and I'm buying into it. I'm getting comfortable. But just I'm getting there.
Kyle, I think let me tell you something.
Hold up.
Um, I really think it is. I think it's imperative that people hear from all of us. I don't think. Yeah, this is my show. Talk Time is my show, but you are a part of the Black USA News family, whether it's through me or not. You're my co-host, but you can have your own segment. So if you wanted to log in under amplified silence in another hour, you can do that. That's what this platform is for. This platform is for us by us. This is
Why did
for
you? Why did you tell me that? You know I'm. You
you
know I'm
got to
gonna
create
be.
because it'll stop you from calling me at 2 in the morning. Do your thing. Do your thing. The knowledge and the information that we share, the stories that we share, the people that we fight for. This is all real life. This is
Yes.
live TV. There's no
If,
reruns here. The
if I
issues we are bringing to the community and to the world affect us all. And it's a daily violation of our human rights. It is a daily assault on our families. It is a daily assault on our amendments, on the Constitution. Like, we could do this all day.
we literally could. We could talk about the
Right.
13th. We could talk about the overcrowding. We could talk about the food condition.
So
That's
I
not
want to
even.
talk. What I want to talk about is her miscarrying Justice League. I want you to compound on that.
Ooh, thank you. They don't. Nobody knows this, but I'm gonna let y'all in on a secret. Natasha was the person who empowered me. She was my first interview. The person who empowered me to start speaking up. So I'm a little slow
I love
sometimes, but she's warming me up. So
Right. Sometimes you got to push
miscarry
him
and
in the water.
Justice League. Yeah, you got it.
Just push him in the water. God.
So, so Miss Carrie and Justice League, let me say first, is very close to my heart because I didn't know during my own incarceration or my post incarceration, my reentry, where I
Right.
was kind of, trying to put my own head together and do some healing. I had no idea the of the parallel tragedy or emergency that is women's prison. I just assume where prison is bad, it's the same for everyone. Not so much. And I have less excuse than most because when I first went to prison, the classification place I was in at first held women and men because they were building a women's prison next door to it. So there was a woman who was killed by the guards in solitary confinement, and solitary confinement, that's
Right,
where you
right.
put people that you want to kill. Um, no accountability for officers, and I mean these are all big, swollen, like you know, linebacker type of officers
Yeah.
who would uh, abuse people. Everybody thinks that the people inside of prison all look like me, but just 10 times stronger. No, you've got a lot of them that are 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, frail, no threat to anybody. And you have guards, you have administration and staff who have no training beyond emergency response. They don't know anything other than spray mace and whoop ass.
Right.
So this lady was killed, and that was my awakening to the that was my awakening to the fact that, oh shit, they're less vulnerable. Well, it wasn't until I connected with the women of WHV, Women's Huron Valley in Michigan, where Miss Carrie and Justice League was founded, that I got to hear from so many people. I'm gonna give you an example. I got one message from a person who said that they really, really wanted to share something, but they needed to know how I can protect them.
Right.
How can I keep them safe? When I tell you the feeling of, of just inadequacy, to hear somebody, to know somebody's in that situation, and to know that their best shot is a random stranger, me, who they meet.
Yeah.
It's that real for our sisters in there. It
It
is
is.
that
Uh,
it's
let,
that.
let me tell you something. There was a girl in the cell next to me when I was in solitary confinement. She had been having an affair with a sergeant, and she was supposed to go home. Like, she didn't have a long time. We were in Albion. Albion is a medium max. Most people get sent there if they have under 15 years when they bid left. So, I mean, she was about to go home maybe a year or two, and I'm not sure the exact date. Me and her weren't friends. She was a white girl. Let me tell you something, how bad it is for women. She was a white girl, and she was pregnant. They put her in solitary confinement, and the next day when we woke up, she was dead, hanging in her cell. But she was in the cell connected to mine. I could hear. I could
I was
hear.
gonna say, could you hear through the vent? We all have the
I
vents
could hear
connected.
through the vent the walkie-talkies. I could hear the shuffling of feet the night before, and I could hear her feet kicking the wall trying to get a grip. They hung that girl. That sergeant went to another prison and became a lieutenant. So when I tell you it's horrible in prison for women, not only do we not have the support system needed, if you're a married woman and you go to prison and your husband is free, most likely you're doing more than 2-3 years. He's leaving. Your children are being raised by family members. Them family members are not coming to to visit you with your children like that. The visiting floor always has a lot of room left. You know what I mean? Packages, you're not getting taken care of because people are taking care of your kids. And then the coming home reentry process. Even the
Can't
reentry
talk about it.
programs. The reentry programs. I was released to the Fortune Society. the castle. There are 72 beds in that building. Some of them are people shared rooms. Majority of them are two people shared rooms with a bathroom and a stove. Do you know how many women they house? 12.
I mean,
12 out of 72 beds. 12 of them are for women.
as a standard, like that's their max. They don't go over.
That is their max. They don't go any higher. They have a 6-man room upstairs for women when they first come in, and I think they have 3 2-man rooms for women, and they have a downstairs. There's a 3-man room for women. So you go from in stages. You know, at any given time, that 6-man room may have 2 or 3 empty beds. But this is how the system works. Even
this leaves women at a female
very big disadvantage.
incarcerated, yes, and far more vulnerable to have to barter with sex for basic needs like
basic,
food, like tampons, like.
Absolutely.
And it's and everybody thinks these are outlier situations.
Not at all.
The case.
This is the norm.
It's the norm,
This
and
is
you
the
have
norm.
some people. You have some people, a very few, who I don't know how, but they've exaggerated their own stories, and therefore it's cost the credibility of a majority of women who have very legitimate complaints and who are owed. Obviously, they'll never be paid. But the story you just mentioned, a woman being pregnant inside of prison. Right. Women get pregnant inside of prison.
Let me tell you something. All the time. All the time. There was one woman, her husband brought the baby back because he was black. Okay? She had her baby. The husband took the baby home. You know, they had trailer visits. The husband took the baby home, and a couple months later, the husband brought the baby back to the prison and said, "This baby is not mine. This baby is black." And they were a white couple. It was, I'm telling you, everybody in the jail knew what was going on. The husband was outside in the prison parking lot trying to return this baby that was not his. I'm serious.
I'm sorry. This not supposed to be funny. I know.
It's serious. It's serious. You know,
it speaks to the reality.
Why do you think there's the adult sex abuse class action right now in New York? Do you know how many of us are on that lawsuit, including myself? Including myself. Including myself. There's like 700 women that have come forward that have been sexually abused by correction officers while incarcerated. And I'm one of them. Twice. It happened to me twice by the same officer.
That leads me to believe that it's at least that many who haven't come forward because it's not safe for them. Or they,
well, they're probably still inside. They're probably still inside. My friend Tanika, hi Tanika. Tanika said, including myself. Yeah, right. Taconic Correctional Facility, right. You know, I just wish that there were more platforms like this. So I'm gonna say something. We've had a few viewers since we've been on. It's never gone past 5. But if I was on live having a fight or cursing somebody out, the live would be packed.
We are talking about the evolution of slavery right in front of our eyes, still affecting the same people. Like I said last show, there's not a crime that was happening on a plantation that is not happening right now, as I'm speaking this sentence, inside of our prisons.
Inside of the free world as well, because people are not interested in doing something positive to help themselves. Everybody has an excuse. As I said before, as I just was saying, we have not gone past 4 viewers at a time since we've been on, and we've been on for 44 minutes. But if we were on taping crackheads or watching people fight or anything
dumb
negative
shit.
And dumb shit, then
this
podcast would be full. Do you know how many platforms we are streaming on? We are streaming on 6 platforms right now, including really 8, because my page is streaming all of the Black USA news streams, including 4 YouTube channels, including Solitary No More VA.
This is why Black USA News is so important,
Important. Hmm.
because your redemption not going to hear the stories anywhere else about stuff that's primarily affecting us. Incarceration, you can't talk about incarceration very well without talking about racism. It is a
At
black
all.
issue.
At
So
all.
it's disproportionately a black issue. So we need people to tune in, but that will come. I have no doubt that that will
Yeah,
come
yeah.
at
I
all.
believe
I'm
it
not even
will.
rushing. But the integrity, I should say, the validation that I've gotten just since this show, since Talk Time started,
Mm.
since you and Victor Pate. I remember you and Victor Pate were sitting there. You were doing your intro, and he's
Yeah, he was my
doing his,
first guest.
yeah. And the way that you all talked about the conditions inside of solitary confinement, people having snow thrown on them, people being abused in all types of different ways.
Right.
That let me know, okay, there it's okay to actually talk for real about it, because in front of a lot of audiences, uh, you have to package it in a way that they can digest, because some of it is so horrific they will never believe you until it's their child.
Right.
So shows like this on and the platform Black USA News anyway, it's given us an opportunity to decide how
Hmm.
serious these issues are to us. I believe incarceration and just the conditions alone is a 24/7 conversation, and we need more people to come on and talk about it. But it's a conversation that should be happening around the clock,
Absolutely.
and I hope that we're just a small step in the way of that, in that direction.
Well, we are. I think I'm a little disappointed that Tamara was not able to join us today. Do you have a clip or recording of her
Of
that you can play
course, I
right
do.
now? Please.
I absolutely do,
Please.
and I'm
We're gonna
so
we're gonna hear from Tamira herself right now. We have 13 minutes left. Play some audio from her.
okay. Let me do a screen share. How do I do a screen share on here? Present.
I don't know if you can present. Yeah, is it letting you? Is it
Share
allowed?
screen. I see it. Can you hear?
Yeah, I can hear.
Okay.
We're waiting to hear from Tamira Washington herself. There it goes. Yeah, I don't hear her.
You don't? Do you hear
Uh,
me?
no, I hear you.
Okay.
Oh, it's flickering.
Okay.
Come on, give us something good. Can you hear her? I don't hear her.
Yeah. Yeah, I can hear her fine. You're not hearing her?
No, I'm not.
Okay. Bet this. I'm gonna let you play it, and I'm gonna tell you where to find it. If you'll pull up Facebook and go to the Miscarrying Justice League page, pinned at the top is pinned at the top is her, or I can shoot you the link to it. Pinned at the top is her explanation of miscarrying justice and why it's necessary. Would you like
Miss,
me to? Yeah,
hold on, wait a minute. I wish you would have put the link in the chat. Uh,
I can. It ain't too late. Hold up. I got you. It'll be quicker for me. Boom, boom. Miscarrying justice.
all right.
Boy,
Which one's hers?
you said which what? Which what's hers?
I got it. I see it. Okay, first I have to join the group.
Okay, go
Is
ahead.
it? Okay. Jeez, this is not what I wanted.
And I know Tamara would
I
not
don't I
miss
don't
this.
see I don't see the link for her. I don't know.
Okay, I'm gonna send it to you then. I'm gonna send it to you from directly from YouTube, which is where it's also posted. And I would just want to say while I'm pulling this up on her behalf, there is no way Tamara would not be here for this unless there was something very serious happening.
Yeah,
And we know that when people are inside, that is a reality. Serious stuff happens.
right.
So I don't want to pontificate on what it might be, but I'm sure she'll follow back up. And it did mean the world to her too. I told her about you, how she was gonna love you because you cover it. Okay, so I found it and I've copied the link.
And post it as a comment in this chat on the
Okay,
Black USA News.
here we go.
And then you have to click scene. Okay, there it is. Okay, let's see. Mm. Oh man, come on. I it's not. Let me see something. Yeah, this is not gonna work like this.
Hold on, okay. Well,
Yeah,
let's do this.
it's not.
Let's
Wait,
get her. Let's.
it's not gonna work like this. Man, I really wanted to hear
It's
about her. Yeah,
it's not a tragedy. She'll be back.
like
Miscarrying Justice League is growing.
if you have your phone, you can play it from your phone.
Hey, God,
This is why I be needing you to give me some space. You can't just keep bogarting, bogarting and not letting me give you the idea of how to make it possible, friend.
I thank you, thank you.
You know, I'm gonna start giving you video clips. Yeah, now play it on your. We have 9 minutes left. However, we will stay on until the audio is played.
Okay, I
Turn it
think
all the way up.
it's boom.
Play it. And maybe if you face your phone to the screen, maybe you can see it. Oh, your
Right now.
AirPods. Come on.
You know what? I'm having the Wi-Fi difficulties over here are going to interrupt it. I don't want to halfway play her audio because it's too serious and it deserves attention every word. Let me not halfway do it. I can shoot it over to you, but I can't risk playing it from my phone and having it choppy because bad audio is worse than
Well,
bad
you
video.
could have sent that besides giving me this long speech so that people can hear the audio.
It's so slow that I can't even sing the scene. But
Okay.
you
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. I apologize for the holdup. You know, this is new for us, but I appreciate you being interested. We will hear from Tamira eventually. It just won't be today. Um, as we've said time and time again, Talk Time is a platform for us, people that are directly impacted by the system, whether you are formerly incarcerated or a family member. We will be on numerous times a week, probably now that Kyle has realized that he can go live whenever he wants. And we will be bringing to you the facts of how incarceration affects this nation and most of all affects us. But it is up to you to join in the conversation, to ask questions, to bring issues, and to get a resolve, to change the narrative. You cannot do it by scrolling past the live broadcast. You need to
that's
join
right.
the live. You need to join the live broadcast. You need to give ideas. If you have questions and you don't think the issue is important, it is important. There is nothing about incarceration or changing the dynamics of the injustice system that is not important. If we all do a little, no one will have to do a lot.
We're not here to make content. We're here to make a difference.
Right, right. Thank you for joining. We're gonna end our segment a couple of minutes early today. because I need to take a break.
Cuss me out
Yeah,
backstage.
I'm gonna cuss
I got
Kyle
you.
out, but don't worry about it. Kyle is a great guy. Kyle is a very intricate part of this movement. Reach out, guys. Send a message. YouTube, Facebook, Natasha White, Kyle Robinson. Comment to this post if you're interested in telling your story. If you have somebody that is incarcerated that you want to shed light on, if you have somebody that is not incarcerated and is affected by the criminal justice system and needs help bringing attention to their situation, getting justice, jump on board. It takes us all, everyone. Until next week, thanks for listening.
Thanks
Peace.
a lot. Thanks a lot. Great show.